Alright people, Catfish Dave here. Last few videos I've been dragging baits. I've always just been type of guy to go out and anchor somewhere, you know, what I thought was a good spot. People are suggesting you should drag baits, you should drift, you should do all this stuff, you know. Well, I figured I got this old boat, I'd give it a shot. So I've done it for a few videos now, and I've caught fish doing it, and I've not caught fish doing it. Now keep in mind it is winter, it's very cold, fish can be sluggish. We're probably starting to get somewhat of some bait kill going on, meaning they have plenty to eat already. And a couple of the successful times I did go were in shallow water or shallower water, back creek systems. First place I went was a spot I'd already made a video at, but I decided to drag it a little more thorough and just to see what happens. There we go. Oh. Fish on, fish on. Took about, we went about 100 yards. What in the world? I'm gonna show you something crazy. This dang fish not only bit the hook, he swallowed the sinker. I can see the end of it. He tried to eat that too, man. What do you know? They like eating lead, I guess. We are hooked up with another dink fish. We're hooked up again. Probably the biggest one of the morning, and it came on ahead finally. been 4 minutes since I caught the last fish. So I've caught 3 fish in about 30 minutes doing this. It's productive. Haven't seen any big fish yet. Well, that didn't take long at all. Didn't take long at all. Yeah, they're hitting heads. Well, that's 4 fish, and I haven't been hung up yet. Still no big fish. There was almost 5. Pretty much the same thing going on there, about the same size fish. So I decided to head out of there and go drag an outside channel edge. And the first fish in deep water is another dinkfish. Woo! I seen a couple deep holes on my Navionics, and so I went to check those out. I'm over about 80 foot of water right now. Nothing but dink shallow. Not much action in 40 foot off that ledge. So I found these 2 deep holes. We're going to see what's around. Finally, with no action deep, I went back shallow again and caught more fish. That's a fish. Yeah, these old eater blues are definitely back here shallow, man. That didn't take 2 minutes to get a fish in as we got back here in the shallower water. Oh, got another one. Get back here shallow and they're loaded in here. There she goes. Pretty much as fast as I throw them out there. I guess I had a fish on this one, didn't even know it. I found it odd that I had cruised back shallow again with the center section. I wasn't getting a bite, so I went to check it, and the reason nothing couldn't bite it, because one already had it in its mouth. Went to another creek system the following weekend, and this time things were a little different. Fish weren't so shallow. As I was going back up in there, I wasn't seeing a lot of bait to begin with in the backwaters during this weekend. And once I got out of about 13 foot and started going into shallower water, I no longer seen any bait. I started out shallow anyway. Finally, I started coming out into the deeper water where I did see some bait on my depth finder, and I noticed the wind was blowing hard one direction, and I seen these Walmart eagles, seagulls, whatever you want to call them, birds. They were working this far bank, and the wind was blowing that direction. Once I got over into that depth of water that I've been marking fish, into the direction those birds were working, I started getting fish. Once we got out here to about 13, 14 foot, started getting a couple bites, so they're obviously in a little deeper water. Woo! Look at that! Yeah, 13, 14 foot of water. I'm seeing plenty of bait now. There wasn't nothing back in 4 and 6 foot. As soon as we got on the bait, we got a couple fish. We also lost a couple dag-blasted sinkers. Those sinkers are a little over $2 a piece. This is a good way to find fish, but it's also a good way to lose sinkers. There we go, there we go. This is kind of a pain without a remote control trolling motor, because every time I go to reel in a fish, it spins the boat around. Either way, now that we're in 13, 14 foot of water, we're getting some fish. Woo! Yeah, that's a fish. That's a fish. Straighten this motor up. Easy fish, man, guaranteed. Oh, yeah. This weather sucks. I believe I'm going to head back to the boat ramp because I can't even hardly move my lips to talk. 33 degrees with a 5-6 mile an hour sustained wind. It sucks. The wind will not let up. Well, all right, people, I'm almost back at the boat ramp. I'll be glad to get out of here. This sucks. I didn't have the proper sinker to do it with, so I stopped by the Big Fish Outfitter and I just bought these trolling weights. You're supposed to use these long pencil weights or what they call Draggin weights, which is a series of a whole lot of weights tied together. And the idea is something real big is less likely to get down in to smaller rocks and stuff. You're less likely to get hung with the right type of sinker. Now there's some river bottoms you're going to get hung and you're going to waste a lot of money using those expensive sinkers because some of these bottoms are just too nasty to do this style of fishing. Either way, this worked. I only lost a couple sinkers per day at those locations. What I done was use a 3-way rig, couple feet of my 80-pound peg float to raise it off the bottom, and then to my sinker I attached some 8-pound tests just so when it would hang I could break it off. I think I lost a whole rig once doing this. All the other 8 or 10 times I've been broke off, it was just my weight. So tying that lighter line did help me out there. I was able to get my swivel and my leader back. As far as why I was only getting fish shallow, well, a lot of that probably has to do with the time of year. If I was dragging baits other times of year, it may have been productive everywhere. I think I was out on days when the fish weren't biting well anyway, and the fish that were shallow on those days were up there to feed. So they were on the lookout for bait anyway. So that's what worked the first few times I went dragging. It produced fish, produced numbers of fish in a fairly short time. Basically, you just cover water, you know. If you're not on fish yet, you'll eventually find them, you know. I'd say some days it could produce lots of fish. And I drug baits for 4 hours in Fort Loudon and never got a single bite, so it's another option. It's something to try. I did it. I'll probably do it some more. It's a little easier than drifting, because drifting you have to keep an eye on your depth and you're constantly reeling in your line or letting your line out. Your line is going straight down when you're drifting, and you're more likely to get hung up like that if you do rub bottom. So with this way, the best way to do it is have your baits a long way from the boat. That way your line is at this angle and not at this angle, and your weight is less likely to drop down into stuff. Either way, I gave it a go. It did produce a Catfish Dave show. So this is a video. There was fish in the video. That makes it a fishing video. This is Catfish Dave with another one. Signing out.